Well, tomorrow is that special election. Various areas throughout the state will be involved with this. Here, the 37th district for our state senate is up, and that is because Mimi Walters, of course, vacated that spot when she won the congressional district. So we have a candidate on today, and we're happy to have her here. Naz Namazi, did I pronounce that right?
Oh,
finally?
absolutely.
I kind of messed it up when I introduced it earlier today. But we're happy to have you here. And first of all, people may not have heard your name before or know much about you, so please tell us about yourself.
Okay. Thanks. I'm a daughter of a diplomat from an era when there was integrity and prosperity. My father worked for the King of Iran, a secular Iran.
Mm-hmm.
This was an Iran when we were the first, or we were the second nation in the world, second to the US, to recognize Israel as a state.
Mm-hmm.
And the king was the first leader in that region to recognize Israel. So my father was sent on assignment to China, and I grew up in China for about 4.5 years. And one of my fondest memories was 4th of July. George Herbert Walker Bush was serving hot dogs and Coca-Cola.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was when America didn't have an embassy. We had a consulate back then. But at that time I was Iranian, but not American. So then when my dad's assignment ended, we went to Iran, and it was in 1978, and the Islamic jihadists had come over to the country, and they took over, basically. And I remember we stopped going to school because there were cars being burned in the middle of the streets. At night you'd hear gunshots, and then in the mornings you'd open up the newspaper's front page, dead bodies, pictures of dead bodies. And so I'm going to go on a tangent. So that's the Iran. We fled. We were one of the lucky ones. We were able to get out, and we were also very lucky that we had a place to escape to, the US. Now I'm going to go on a slight tangent here.
Sure, of course.
And say that it reminds me, so given the fact that we escaped from Islamic jihadists of Iran, it reminds me to right now when our State Department, when we're talking about negotiating with the Islamic regime over the nuclear deals. And I thought about it, and I said, let's think about it. It's like ISIS. What if in 20 years we send our State Department to go and negotiate with ISIS over a nuclear deal? So going back, we did escape. We came to Memphis, Tennessee, stayed there for 3 years, and then
there's a cultural difference.
It was Americana.
It certainly was.
I really enjoyed Memphis, Tennessee, and then we came to California, and I've lived here for 33 years. Graduated from Laguna Hills High School, and then graduated from UC Irvine. I then worked in the film industry, had my own firm, consulting firm, wrote a market research report on world obesity, and then finally I ended up in politics. I've worked then with Congressman Rohrabacher and his wife Rhonda for 3 years, and now I work as a district rep, and that's why I'm here.
Well, I think the question that most people will have, I guess the two other main opponents have the name recognition. They have a lot of years of active experience. What would you bring to the state senate that you feel that maybe they would not?
Honesty. One of the reasons that I ran is that being involved in politics now for about 4.5 years, I saw that there is a political industrial complex within the Republican Party here in Orange County that likes to pick and select our candidates for us.
Right.
I disagree with that. And in this instance, they picked 2 men. One of them, and they very well know that, he lies about going on union-funded trips to Maui. And then the other candidate is a pension champion, but he spikes his own pension. Insiders know this. And I disagree with that, and that's why I decided to run. And I understand that I'm not the perfect candidate, but I'm the best one on the ballot. And the reason for that is because I'm honest.
Well, you have a very interesting background, and that's for sure. You've been working in, am I right, Dana Rohrabacher's office? What do you do for him?
I'm a district representative.
Okay.
So I work in the Huntington Beach office.
Okay, and you certainly know this district well, having the fact that you went to school right down the street. Are there certain key points that are very, very important to you on the state level here? I think honestly, you would certainly be great too on the federal level from your background here. But what are some of the the points that are very key to you?
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of issues here that our state faces. So you have the 405 toll issue. You have have the bag ban. You have the unfunded pensions, and where I like to start is that, well, first of all, when I look at issues, I don't consider it from the left or from the right. You have to look at issues, it's from up or down. And when I start and I evaluate an issue, is I look at it and I say, we start with, less laws, because less laws equals more freedom. And it's giving the individual more freedom. Our government has grown too big. We have a lot of laws. So one of the things that's important for me, and throughout this process, what I find very important is that, why do we send our legislators to Sacramento? Why do we send them there and they get lost? Right now, we shop online, we bank online. Why can't legislators vote online? Why can't we vote from the district? Why do we need to send them over there to
spend less time up in Sacramento and spend more time in your district?
Yeah, to be in the centralized arm of lobbyists. We're down here, we vote here, and we are right here with the people, because the government is a monopoly. I'm sure you'll agree with me.
Yeah.
But they're not very good when it comes to intelligence. They don't have a monopoly on intelligence nor with solutions. And I think that you can find that right here in the district. Regardless of whether you're 2 years old or 92, you can have great ideas right here, and we find it in the district.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point that you have. I know over the years we've talked to many people from the state assembly person and state senate, and a few of them have recognized the fact, like, we very rarely get to spend time in our district, and when they do, they're coming back home to be with their family for the weekend or whatever it might be. So it becomes a point where they're running around for maybe a half a day. They come down here maybe Friday midday. They run around for a half day meeting with people, and then of course, obviously, they want to be with their family over the weekend. So it makes it quite difficult. So I like your take on that. Your background is just when I look at all the different things that you've achieved at UCI, you've got a lot of certificates of recognition. One of them, which everyone knows, Pat Bates, and she gave you one, right?
Right.
For outstanding contributions on behalf of the OC-GOP, right?
OC-GOP.
Yeah.
And even my opponent, Donald Wagner, gave me a certificate too.
Yeah, so there you go.
And even Mimi Walters. I wanted to bring another point out that I think is important, and that is, people ask me, so why are you not, why don't you have all these endorsements? And I know, for example, Donald Wagner is endorsed by the person who held this seat, Mimi Walters. Well, let's look at Mimi Walters. And she made a pledge that she wasn't going to raise taxes. She's made that pledge a number of times. And guess what she did? She voted for a $2.3 billion tax increase. What did the political industrial complex within the Republican Party do? They supported her, and now she's in Congress. And that's what I'm bringing to the table. A lot of people have been telling me, Naz, thank you for coming into and putting your name on the ballot, because you're giving us a choice.
So you're giving us some a fresh look at the Republican Party and fresh ideas.
Absolutely.
Great to have you on today. It's a pleasure to meet you. VoteNaz.org, that is votenaz.org. Remember, tomorrow is the day for the election. So get out there and vote if you haven't done so. I think there's mail-in ballots, but please go out there and vote. It is an important election, even though it's kind of at a strange time and it may not be part of one of the big, huge general elections, but go out there and vote. A pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Thank you
Good luck to
very
you.
much. Thank
All right.
you.
We'll be right back. Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.